And so I booked an appointment with Pamela to have this Reiki, and I think I had booked it for my 40th birthday. So it came round, and I was all excited to be there. And when I arrived, we went down into this basement, and I had these jeans on and a jumper. I've gone down into this basement. There's no lights, but no windows or anything, and just these couple of candles. So it was real soft and ambient. And I got onto this bed, and Pamela covered me over in this great big thick fluffy blanket, and she did these little bells, tingled them in the air, and said this prayer, and she put this music on, and it was the most angelic music I'd ever heard. And she said to me, I feel really that you've got an open mind, that you're open to every possibility, and it's because I sense that you've got an openness about you that I'm going to share with you how I work. And she said, I don't normally do that because it scares people a bit, but she said I work with angels. She didn't do angelic Reiki, she did Usui Reiki, but she still said that she worked with angels. And she said, don't be alarmed if you feel the sense of touch, or you feel a sense that you're sinking into the bed or floating. Just don't be alarmed. And I can remember thinking, I won't be alarmed. I'd give my right arm to experience an angel. But I was quickly to discover that I didn't need to sacrifice my right arm, because I had a profound experience in the Reiki. Well, firstly, Pamela's put her hands on my head, and there was an intense amount of heat coming off her hands. Phenomenal. I always felt soothed by heat, and so it just felt really good. But while she had her hands on my head, I felt this sensation that someone was stroking my legs, like caressing my legs, and then I realised that this stroking, it was like a feather-like touch stroking of my feet. It felt like bare naked skin, and my legs were bare and they were being caressed by these feather-like strokes. Yeah, I had jeans on and I had this big fluffy blanket on, and so my mind was like, what's going on? But I just sunk into the peacefulness of it and just allowed the experience to wash over me. And then at one point in the treatment, because my eyes were closed and the room was dark and it felt like I was in darkness, all of a sudden I had this experience in the inside of my skull, if you like, just lit up with this Christ white light. And even though my eyes were closed, I could see, and all I was seeing was Christ white light, and so peaceful. I had no idea what I was, just mesmerised by this experience. And of course, I think the total treatment was like about 45 minutes, and when I came round, it felt like, I don't know, a few minutes, but it was near on an hour. But I looked up at the ceiling and I was scanning the ceiling with my eyes, and I was looking for a light source. And I can laugh now. The first time in my life I was seeking the light, and I was looking for the source of light, and I expected to see one of those, operating theatre lamps on the ceiling, or some kind of huge light source that could be responsible for what I had experienced. But there wasn't any. There was nothing bar these two little candles in the room. And so Pamela said, what are you doing? And I said, I'm looking for the light. I'm looking for the light. How funny is that? And And I told her this experience that I'd had, and she said, "Oh, you picked it up." She said, "That's really good." She said, "Because I sensed in your mind there was so much darkness, so much pain and misery." She said it was awful. So I called in these angels and I asked them to pour in Christ's white light through your crown. And I was like, never. And I mean, I just couldn't believe what I was hearing, but the experience in itself just put me in a total state of peace. And I'm thinking, I'm really opening up to the belief that there is something other than myself here, and that angels are with me, and that they can do this for me, and that I am worth doing this. And so it really just like opened up my mind. And of course, Pamela said to me that she was getting a message, and it was that I was to read the book called The Secret by Rhonda Byrne. And I mean, I was on cloud nine when I came out. There was high, and then I came up through the salon, and Teresa was there, and she said, "Wow, look at you." And she just said, I had this light around me, and she said my eyes were sparkling, and she said, "You can tell that you had a treatment." She said, "You look so great." And I actually hopped, skipped and jumped out of there. And I had this really intense desire to buy the book The Secret, but I couldn't find it in town. And so I came home and I ordered it on the internet, and it said there'd be a 5 to 6 day delivery time. And so I thought, well, I'm just going to have to be patient and to know what's in this book or what it's about. But I ordered it, and that was that. And so that evening, I found myself at home alone. I mean, the kids often went out on sleepovers, and my partner at the time was visiting his mum in London, and I found myself in the house on my own. And all of a sudden I felt this grievance come up, and it was like an anger. All these years that I believed that I deserved to be punished and that I wasn't worth it, it became a real grievance. And it was like, I am effing worth it. And I just went into this fit of rage, and I've never been angry in my entire life, but I just was raging. I went into this rage, and I was raging at God, this atheist who didn't even believe in God, was raging at God and blaming him for everything in my life. And I just went bonkers, and I was shouting at him, "Why are you doing this to me? Why are you punishing me? I'm a good person." God, here I go with a coughing fit. So I said, "I'm not taking this shit anymore." I said, "Do you hear me? I am a good person, and if I live another 40 years, I'm not taking this shit for a minute longer." And I said, "Are you listening to me? You better be listening to me. You best get down here and sort this out." And I was like, "If you don't sort this out now, I'm checking out, and I'm not coming back." And I was going absolutely bonkers. And then I started going on, "I must have been a bitch in another lifetime. I must have been a right cow to deserve what I'm getting." And I was just, it was just 40 years worth of anger and repression and rage. It just was spewing out of my mouth. And God, he got a lot. Boy, did he get it. And I thought, God, what have I just done? And I've never done that before. But it's just like I was in this space where I could do it, and I did. That's exactly what I did. And then I went into this calm, submissive state, and then just like completely forgot about the entire experience. Put the kettle on and just plodding along, doing my thing, and didn't expect God to answer me. Didn't expect anything to happen. I mean, why would I? I mean, in the depths of the parable of Sally Ann, in the depths of the storyline, in the depths of the pain and the suffering, often I'd asked for help, but it never came. And I convinced myself, oh yeah, that's right, even God hates me, you know, why would he show up for me? And so I'd even convinced myself of that, and so of course I didn't expect an answer. I expected nothing. Just getting a bit of rage off my chest, and but then what I noticed was the house seemed to fill up with this deep sense of peace. There was complete silence, just me, and there's no TV on, no music. It was just me in this still, empty house, and the peace was almost palpable. You could almost touch it. And it's only when I look back now with a rational mind that I realised that I'd spent my entire life running from peace. I'd create distractions and noise. I hated peace. I couldn't stand it, and I was always on the run from it. And so I realised that I'd spent my entire life running from peace. Which makes me laugh, because when you look in the Course in Miracles, it says one of the obstacles to peace that must be overcome is your desire to get rid of it. And when I read that, I was laughing, because yeah, that was my only desire, to get rid of peace. But as my house filled with it, yes, darling. No, don't do that, babes. No, I'm on the radio, sweetheart. I'll talk to you later. So, yeah, there was this palpable peace, and for the first time ever in my life, I'm talking about peace, and the scrap man's outside doing his horn. Yeah, my house was full of this palpable peace, and oh man, I can't even describe to you what it felt like, but it felt good. It felt so good, and I just relaxed into it, and it was like I sort of became one with it, and I can't even put into words how it felt. Just an experience of knowing that I had peace. Then I went upstairs to bed, feeling a little bit tired, I guess, and I just started to climb the stairs. I just felt like I was revitalised as I was climbing the stairs. I've got two flights of stairs in my house. You go up one and then you turn and you go up the second. So the higher I got, the more sort of revitalised I seemed to become. And what happens next is quite profound, and really out of this world. A revelation, I can't even say it now, a revelatory experience But we're about to run out of time, so that's going to have to come next in